Let's now shift our gaze to Gaza. Today it will be 5 months since the Israel-Hamas war began. Let's begin by talking about the scenes of Gaza. If you look at Gaza today, you wouldn't recognize it. You wouldn't know one neighborhood or alley from another. You'll see weak, scrawny children looking towards the skies, some with dread, others with hope. Because the fact is, they don't know what will fall from the skies, dinner or death. Now let's talk about the sounds of Gaza. Cries of desperation, cries of help, cries of hunger. All these horrifying sounds ring out from the enclave, and yes, most of these are cries coming from children. It's a cry every mother is all too familiar with. I know I am. It's a painful, heartbreaking cry. It's the cry every mother knows because it's the cry of a hungry child. Sadly, for the children of Gaza, their mothers are helpless because there's no food to feed these babies. Newborns and children are dying of hunger because Israel's siege, its unending rampage, has condemned the children of Gaza to death by starvation. You see, Israel has put severe restrictions on aid, including food entering the Gaza Strip. So essentials are running low. There's not much food to put on the table in Gaza as of now. The United Nations has come out with a dire warning. The body says that a widespread famine in the Gaza Strip is now inevitable. The official announcement could come as early as next week. Just imagine this. A famine in a war-battered coastal enclave of 2.3 million people. The UN estimates that of this 2.3 million people, more than a quarter are currently facing catastrophic levels of deprivation and starvation. The body says that children are malnourished and battling disease. Adults are dying from starvation. In fact, here's what the WHO chief said after the agency paid a visit to the enclave recently. That the lack of food had resulted in the deaths of 10 children. He also mentioned severe levels of malnutrition, serious shortages of food, fuel, medicines. Hospitals are all but destroyed. Meanwhile, the Muslim holy month of Ramzan begins next week. The dawn to dusk fast lasts anywhere from 12 to 17 hours, but in Gaza, families preparing for Ramzan are on the verge of famine. The children are starving daily. As food aid trickles into the enclave, there are endless queues for a fistful of flour. What about the ceasefire? Sadly, there was no breakthrough from the talks between Hamas and international mediators in the Egyptian capital. In fact, the Hamas delegation has now left Cairo. So disagreements persist, fighting continues at a time when food and life-saving aid should be flooded into Gaza. It is merely trickling in. In the 5 months since Hamas launched a multi-pronged attack on Israel, killing at least 1,200 Israelis, Israel has retaliated. At least 30,000 Palestinians have been killed, according to Gaza's health ministry. And under Israel's iron now is Rafah, a southern city where nearly 1.5 million Palestinians have fled to. Remember, Israel has not achieved its military goals yet. Goal number 1, to destroy Hamas completely. Goal number 2, to rescue the 100+ hostages taken by Hamas on October 7th. So as far as we see it, Gaza will continue to burn. You would think the sound of crying babies would call for an immediate ceasefire, but as we've seen in this polarizing war so far, the world is becoming almost immune to these sounds. We're desensitized. We flinch at the visuals, share the posts, condemn the perpetrators of violence at our dining table, and that's that. We then go about our daily lives as if nothing has happened. What about those with power? The United States, for instance. Well, US President Joe Biden has called on Hamas to accept a ceasefire deal before Ramzan begins. That's it. You see, it's all a well-rehearsed routine by now, a daily update in the death toll, a dire warning from the United Nations, and of course, condemnation from Big Brother, the United States. But Gaza continues to burn, and its children continue to scream in hunger.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.